Hey, what's going on, everyone? Guess what? We are back with another episode of Let's Talk About It. And today we are going to be talking about can a sexless marriage be successful and fulfilling? I'm gonna give you my answer, but not yet. Not yet. First, I want to introduce, of course, my sidekick, my little sister, Joy, my co-host.
Hey guys, Happy New Year! I haven't seen you guys. I know Josh had a show with Coach B. I haven't seen you guys. Happy New Year! I hope your New Year's is great. I hope it's starting off with a bang. Let's carry this out. Everybody say this is Jordan year. This is 23. So we all have to do big things this year, and I wish the best for you all.
Great. Also, we have another guest on with us tonight, Lady V. Now, again, we've known Lady V for many, many years. She knew us when we were little.
Yes.
But she still looks like she was about 20. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on, Lady V?
How y'all doing? And thank y'all for having me on the show. And Happy New Year, everybody.
Great, guys. Let's really get into this. So as you know, my little sister and I, we always do talk on the phone, and this is how we come up with our topics. and believe it or not, lately I've been hearing about this going on. I think it should be a crime. About sexless marriages. What's going on? I'm like, isn't that why we get married?
Right.
First we want to talk about relationships. Just basic relationships. So can a relationship be fulfilling and be sexless?
See,
what are your thoughts about that?
I look at it as like, I know we have a lot of Christians who follow us, right? Now trust me, I am by no means do I think majority of y'all Christians not having sex, even though y'all not married. But there are some who are, they live and die by the Bible. Like they follow that word to a T. So I know there are some people who
sometimes not by choice.
Sometimes it's by choice, but sometimes you don't have any possibilities, so ain't no choice but there are some who like, I'm gonna hold myself to marriage. And my question is, now I've had some friends who, probably like in the last year of them being together before they got married, they said, we're gonna abstain from sex and things of that sort. And they still seem to have a fulfilling relationship. Because my thing is, think about those people who date and probably like long distance daters. They still have a full relationship. They just don't really get the yams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like... And remind you, so technically, to have a sexless relationship, it doesn't mean that you don't have to have sex at all. The technical term for a sexless marriage is have sex 4 times a year or less is considered a sexless marriage.
4 times a year.
So that's once every 3 months. So you get once in the spring, once in the summer, once in the fall, once in the winter. So maybe for your birthday, Valentine's Day, Christmas, the big major holidays, you get some.
That should be a crime too. That should be a felony.
Right.
Yeah, it happens. A lot of people, you'd be surprised how many married couples are barely having sex, especially the people who've been married the longest. I've known people go years without having sex.
I think when it comes to relationship, and people decide to not have sex. No, I think a relationship can be. I think in that sense, a relationship can be fulfilling. I'm not sure they may not be having intercourse. Now, let me make this announcement. Since yes, I am an ordained minister, but I'm no fool. And my audience is not just based on Christians alone. So I'm not just talking about Christians. I'm talking about everybody. And my audience, let's be real. And like Joy said, all Christians are having not all Christians are not having sex. So let's be real. No. This conversation is about that. So I'm gonna lay that out there so I don't get no text messages or somebody text my little sister saying, "What's wrong with Josh?" No, I'm not wrong. I'm just being honest.
Being real. That's what we're here for.
This is what the show's about. This is about talking about it. So, so I think yes, in a relationship, there are more things that could be make the relationship more fulfilling than actually a sex life. What about you, Lady V? What's your thoughts about that when it comes to an actual relationship and somebody dating, blase?
I think kind of different because I think that sex and relationship will never be a problem if it starts with you. I think that your sexuality and who you are has to be developed within yourself. Mm-hmm. So when, like, I've heard women say, well, I don't know if my husband finds me sexy. I don't know if, and vice versa. But my thing is, do you find you sexy? Your sex, because how you present you is going to be how you're received. So you can't present you like you just rolled out the trash can and you want somebody to go, "Ooh, baby." No, don't do that, right? Honestly, before I met my husband, I'm this way all the time. I'm this way for me. I'm not this way for Derek. Derek reaps the benefits of who V is, but this is me all the time. I dressed up for bed, not to get a man. I dressed up because that's how I like to look. Before I go to bed, I like to comb my hair. I like to put my makeup on. That's just my routine. So anybody who got with me would reap those benefits because those are the things that I do to make myself feel good about myself. Your sexuality is not on the other person; it's on you. Now how you benefit from it is getting to know yourself. You need to learn your likes and your dislikes. You need to learn, how you want to flow. Can you be in a relationship, a marriage, and not have sex? Those are people who don't know how they never learn how to be in tune with their own self, because there's no way I'm gonna be in a sexless marriage.
Now I think we first should now talk about reasons why people are not having sex. Like I think Lady V said at one point, most women say, "Well, I don't feel sexy." Now, like you said, I agree. I think you have to make yourself feel sexy. It comes from within yourself. And nobody can make you feel sexy, I think. What are your thoughts about that?
I agree. That comes within, that comes from you. Nobody can, because then if it's based off of somebody else, then it's a temporary feeling. Because what if he don't make you feel sexy the next day or the next time? So now you're waiting for this person to make you feel what you should already feel. And here's the thing, your sexuality is not based on your size. Like people think that, because you have this certain body, that these are, I know some big girls, big girls. And them girls, they like sexing down. Okay, they like doing it. Lizzo. When she get out there on that stage, she putting it down. It has nothing to do with you, because you have some women that are super small, but they don't feel sexy. You have some women that got a bad body and they got serious low self-esteem. So your self-esteem is all the way tied in with your sexuality. How you feel about you, how you do you, how you make, you smell good for you. You do your hair for, what makes you feel good about you. it has nothing. You should not put that on the I'm not going to put that on my husband, because then what if he misses that moment? Now I'm feeling like, oh my God, there's something wrong with me, and now I'm going into deep depression because he didn't tell me I was sexy today, or it has to be totally on you, and I think that women are very guilty of it, because we think that our self-esteem is predicated upon another person telling us how we are.
Also, most women say as well, I had kids, I'm a mom.
Right. That was going to be my next question, because I know a lot of times women, especially having some children, they just don't feel like, they're like, I don't feel like, myself. They get caught up in that mom, they become a mom, and that's basically it. They're mom. So they don't have that sex appeal that they probably had once a while ago. They've lost that. So what do you say to those women who they just never got that, their bodies change? I guess their hormones or something changed. They may not, necessarily want it as often as they used to. What do you say to those women who are in marriages like that?
You gotta figure it out. You gotta bounce back, because bottom line is, if you're in a relationship, you gotta figure out how you're going to bounce back. I have 4 children. I can say, after my first one, I was super young. So,
Right.
I didn't gain any weight. I was a whole 90 something pounds when I got pregnant, and the whole 103 after I had her. But my second child, I went from 103 pounds to 203 pounds.
Oh, wow.
So I think that,
now, did you feel sexy at 203 pounds?
I'm gonna tell you, I did not. Not. And sexy went out the window. I felt fat, because I had always been small. But I'm gonna tell you what made me bounce back was because I have that mom. And my mom came to visit me. I was in Japan, and I looked a hot mess. I wore sweats every day. And back then, that's when you had the pushback hairdo. You push back. I just look crazy. And my mom came, and she hurt my feelings. She pulled me to the side, and she said, "You look crazy." And I was like, I don't know where you lost yourself, but I need you to go back and find you, because you really look crazy. Like,
now, I'm gonna say this. We must understand that we get to control our feelings. Oftentimes, we feel something, then we act the way we feel. If you're tired, guess what? You act tired. If you're frustrated, you act frustrated. You don't have to act that way, but we oftentimes automatically we choose to act that way, which means that I'm tired right now. You wouldn't know it because I'm not acting like it. So likewise, I think we need to understand that whether you feel sexy or not, if you don't feel sexy, it doesn't mean you have to act like it. That means you can still go to putting some nice clothes on and act like you are. How about that? Act like you are.
I think it's different for women, because I think that we're not really good at faking it. It's like it has to be a self-care with us. Men. Sometimes men can do that, but I don't know. Women are not very good. We're good at faking, looking decent.
Don't tell me women don't fake things.
We fake things. But we're not very good at faking our sexuality. That's one thing I can say. That if we're not feeling it, we're just not feeling it. And the thing is, you got to figure you out.
I have a question though.
Okay.
Do you have to feel something in order to do something?
I do.
No, you don't.
I mean, I
think it's good. It's not the same time though. Now let's now. Are we talking about get yourself in the mood? Cool. Now let's talk. Can a person get themselves in the mood?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What's your excuse?
But that's what I'm saying. You have to, but there's some, but you know the things that you need to do in order to get yourself into the mood. This is not a mechanical situation. You know, when you talk about sex in a relationship, you both it's for both people to enjoy.
Right.
So it's not just okay, well, I'm just gonna lay here and you know it's just gonna happen and then we're gonna roll over to sleep. No, but at the same time, go back to something Joy said, when you have children, how do you work around that? How does that young mom who has children get to that place? Well, that's where the dad comes in, you know, because here you have, if you're the man and you want to have this really great night, you're not going to have a really great night if she's got to get the kids off the bus, feed the kids, cook the dinner,
do the homework, put them in bed, read story time,
and pray with them before they go to bed. And now you want her to feel sexy. It is not going to happen, because by the time she has done, and wait, wash the dishes. And she got to get ready for the next day. So now she done worked her job, and then she done worked another job, and she's exhausted. She is totally exhausted. So you're not going to get sexy out of that. You're not.
So okay, so another question. Do a person have to feel sexy in order to have sex?
No, they don't. You know, but if you want meaningful sex, because a lot of couples, the marriage goes down the tube because of that. You know, it becomes mechanical, and you don't want mechanical sex. You don't want to have sex just to be having sex, because one thing about that, then that means that only one person is being satisfied.
Right. And that's why I think that's part of the reason why you'll find people not wanting even to have sex with their spouse, because it's not fun. The thing about it, when you first get with your person, and you know it's an exploration, and you know it's the finding out, and everybody's excited, and you know it's the enjoyment of it all. But what ends up happening is, the longer you're with that person, you guys stop exploring. You guys stop having fun. So then it becomes, you know, either he's frustrated because he's like, all you do is lay there when I'm doing it. You get frustrated because you like, bro, you talk about I'm dry, but you ain't making me wet. Like, I need you to do something. Like, I need you to do something. But those are conversations that happen in real relationships and marriages. And I think that what people have to do is, and I believe that, I honestly believe that as long as the two people are willing to learn each other, and that's even outside of the bedroom, I think that you can keep, you know, and I get it. Sometimes infidelity happens, and that can cause some person to be like, I don't want to have sex with you no more. Like, major things can happen. Sicknesses happen.
Let me speak on that. I'm like, guess, look at this. If you guys have an infidelity and you feel like you can no longer have sex with that person, I think you actually divorce.
Huh? Josh, you gotta realize
I'm saying like them. If a person have infidelity, right, and somebody cheating on somebody, and you feel you cannot no longer have sex with that person, you should get divorced. Or let's make it a little more emotional. If you can't trust a person no more, you must get divorced. Because again, the relationship is not going to go any. The relationship you have is not going to go any further. Because one, I think sex is needed, and I'm gonna give me a sex therapist to really try to break it down. But I think in a relationship, sex is needed.
I believe sex is needed, but I have to agree with Joy. It also has to be a constant effort. You know, the infidelity comes in because we tend to one person or see another person. Like, for me, it benefits you more to work on your relationship because you know that person. You know that person. And it's more than just the sex that you're tied into.
Right.
So
Correct.
you get outside of the relationship, yeah, it may be a turn on for a minute, but then after that, you're not connected to that person in any other way. So if you're connected to a person, it's better to now explore, how can we make this better? Okay, yeah, it has gotten a little routinish, or it has gotten a little whatever. It happens in a lot of relationships. It does. But at the same time, you constantly explore. And even when you have children, I always recommend to people, you need to have a babysitter and you need to go out. Married people who don't go out, you anticipate, because again, women, we get tired and we have to have some type of stimulation other than being the kid's mom.
Well, let me say this. I'm gonna even do that even more. Men and women need some type of stimulation in a relationship. Both.
Okay.
So
But most of the time, men are always ready.
Right.
Men.
Not right. No, sometimes the brother's out there working. Then we get home. He's tired. And again, you gotta.
Guarantee he'll be. There's very few men that him being dead dog tired. If a banging woman, I mean a woman that got everything you want, roll over and be like, yeah, baby, I want this. You gonna wake up. Right. And be like, you can get it. You can get it. Whereas though women be like, I'm tired. My hair hurts. I gotta go sleep. Like, I don't, because you have to understand with women, it's a lot more bells and whistles that have to go off.
Well, the man can't do anything if he can't get up. All you get to do is lay there.
Trust me. We touch you a certain way. Y'all up. It doesn't take that much for well, with that,
but at the same time, it's an intimacy that comes along with that. It's foreplay that comes along with that. And I think that that's important. I think that when people first get together, that the foreplay is powerful. If you think about it's powerful. It's like you ready at all times. But then once you end the relationship, the foreplay is the part that tends to go away. You think about it, all of us are in a relationship. Now, when you first start, you're sexting and you're doing all kinds of stuff. But then, once you get into the relationship, you're secure. And you're like, when the last time you sent your wife a sexy, whatever your level of sexy was before, right? We don't do that anymore because now we become familiar with each other. So that's where that to me is what goes away, is the foreplay. So forget the foreplay part.
Yeah, I agree, and I totally agree. I think again, and I want to say this. I think, like for example, me and Joy was talking about this. That most women think, oh, if a man see a woman, that they just get all riled up, and and that's not true, because every woman don't have sex appeal, right? There's some women that do. There's some women like, oh my gosh.
But what Josh and I was talking about, there's a very few women who just automatically exude, and it could be. There's the difference between being a beautiful woman, because just because you're pretty and beautiful doesn't mean that you're sexy.
Even men, yes, there's some men like that too.
Yeah, there's some men who just probably. With men, I think it's even less. What it mean? Well, no, men. I think the older men get.
Only a few.
I don't know. Maybe because more men popped in my head than women, so maybe in my mind, I'm like, for me, more men sexier than these women. Like, they're beautiful, but they ain't got the sexy. They ain't got that sexy. But men like the way I see it is like a Denzel, like or a Barack Obama, like just the way they walk gives you that nice sex appeal. Like, oh, okay, like, all right, you might be working with something. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I think that it is also when you come home, like, it's like a preparation time. It's like, to me, sex is like having that steak that's perfectly cooked, and you have all of the trimmings, and you have the baked potato, and you have the perfect salad, and you know whether it's a glass of wine or whether it's whatever your favorite drink is, and everything is there, and then you serve it on a garbage can top. You know, it's like that's what I think. It's like it's the preparation. It's the you just coming in and you just, oh, okay, you got your do-rag on and you want him to be all on you, but you got crust in your eyes and all of that. That is not going to make him just go, "Ooh, baby," And the same thing with him. If you all looking crazy and you can come brush your hair and all of that. I mean, everything is preparation, and
all right.
You put your smell good on, and you put your oil on or whatever. It's all about preparation, and I think that a lot of times we get lazy and we don't want to do that.
I agree.
Which is very true.
Josh,
I got a question. But do y'all care about all of that? Do y'all want us to, get all nice and dolled up? And
of course, no doubt. Like, let me say this: you got to do what that man think is sexy.
Okay.
Like, for example, like, you need to ask your man, okay, what do you like, and put that on. Very simple. It's that simple. I'm telling you, it's that simple. And likewise for women.
But what happens if she puts it on it? Because sometimes men, y'all be buying some bogus stuff where you like, bro, my body type is not made for that.
Well, now that's when men gotta be realistic. Your woman is a size 20. No, she's not putting. She can't put. She need one piece.
Well, she can, but see, this is what I'm saying. Because you have some women that are big and they put that on and they rocking it because the sexy is within you. So if I done seen some.
I'm saying though, like you gotta ask yourself who you're trying to appeal to. Like, for example, if again my wife may be turned on by me wearing certain things. If I put it on, it's automatically gonna make her feel like I'm sexy in a sense. Even though if I don't feel like it about that, even if I don't feel like it, if I put it on, she'll think it, and that's what matters. And likewise, if I say, oh, you know what, if you put that on, that'd be sexy.
But what if she know, like, yo, my back fat's gonna be out, like.
I want to tell her, but like, I'm not going to tell her anything like that on. So she ain't gonna worry about that.
But I'm saying sometimes I don't think men, because I think women, we're very.
Well, again, it's not about you. See, the key is that it's about
but she has to feel comfortable.
No, you don't. Again, but look at this. I'm telling you, there's a lot of things I do. I may not feel comfortable doing. I do it because my wife likes it. That's all.
I don't agree. Because I believe that how you are, this is where you don't lose yourself. So, and I'm coming from a person, maybe because I'm older and I got with someone that is older. I had a whole lot of years to figure me out. Okay. Mm-hmm. I had a whole lot of years to know how I like my hair, how I like my makeup, how I like my eyelashes, how I like my clothes. And I became comfortable with me, everything with me. So when I met my husband, I presented me as me. This is me. This is the way I look. This is the way and I don't feel like you should have to change yourself now because you get with the person that you're with, because you got with me. And that meant that you told me that how I am is what you like. So for me, I think that a lot of the time, again, we're trying to please a person instead of figuring out ourselves first. Find out who you are. Find out what you like. Find out if I don't want to wear that red dress. Like my husband, he may like red, but I don't like red, so I'm not going to put the red dress on because I don't like red. You know, I'm not going to present it well if I don't like it. So
now I think both I think when I think both is true though. You can do both. Like again, for example, my wife don't dress me, and when I put clothes on, I put clothes on for me. But at the same time though, if she say I like this, you know I'm gonna go buy it so I can put it on. So if again now give an example, tank tops. I'm not a big tank top guy, but my wife likes it when I wear tank tops. So guess what? I bought some tank tops.
right.
That's not changing me. That's not changing who I am.
But that's sensible. What if she said, Josh, I want you in a Speedo thong? You gonna be like, bro, I'm not putting nothing that's gonna ride up in the crack of my
Hey,
Josh,
I'm down for it. I'm down for it. I'm a ride or die. I'm a ride or die.
You know good and well.
No, but there's certain things that
Listen. Again, everybody have their limits, no doubt about it. I agree. Everybody has their limits, but that's not to me. That's nothing. Come on.
A thong for a man is nothing.
If she likes it, hey.
Bro.
Thongs, I'm
come out to the song.
I mean, I agree with you to a certain extent. And I'll take my husband for instance. Derek is he's from Texas. So, now, honestly, I lived in Texas. I wore the cowboy boots before, but I ain't never been a person who, I remember when we were going to this event and he kept telling me, well, they wear the button down white shirts and, they wear the jeans and I'm just like, I am so not that girl. I am not that girl that I'm just not. So I was trying, but what I did was I went and I met him halfway. I found what was sexy for me,
right?
That I could wear so that I could still be within what he was saying, but I had to make sure that it represented me. So, I wore the button down white shirt, but it had the shoulders showing, it had the little, button, different kind of, because, that's just how it's going to be. And I had to wear my style of jeans and, my style of boots. And he appreciated that, because I am different. I don't want to be like everybody else. But at the same time, I think that for a large part, women don't even know what that means. They don't know what their sexy is. They just be like, I don't know. How do you go to bed? How do you
I'm telling you, y'all need to have a class on that. You need to do a closed Zoom. Or get your sexy back.
But you gotta realize a
lot of women don't know.
I remember I was doing years ago, I used to do a lot of modeling and stuff, right? And I remember we were doing this show for this lady, and her thing was, she was like, because it was like an Egyptian type of Arabian Night type of thing. But her thing was, I remember her saying for sure, she's like, I want y'all to be sexy. I want you to walk seductive, right? So she everybody come walk. She's like, no, go back. And I remember her saying, she was like, all y'all girls, I guarantee you, all y'all, none of y'all are virgins, but you don't know how to be sexy.
And
I was just like, oh, and remind you, and this woman was like sexy. Everything she's what the whole sexy
what is the fashion show we was at, or no?
No. This wasn't the fashion show we was at. This was at a totally different fashion. They weren't sexy. But that's the thing about it. A lot of women have sex, but they don't know how to be sexy.
Yeah.
And I think with women, a lot of women in general, you know, no one's ever told them like what is sexy. Like they know how to have sex, they know how to, you know, get on their knees, get, you know, do all that other stuff. But how do you exude sexiness? Like even when you're outside of a bedroom, you should be able to, you know, like turn your man on. Most women don't know how to do that outside of the bedroom, you know.
Well, I'm gonna say that again. Turning somebody on, coming by, doing the things that turn them on. It's again, you again, one, you can, a lot of people, they look at Instagram and try to act like sex, like try to make their faces and looks like sexiness when for a person. Let's talk marriage now. Look at marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Everything a wife and a husband does should be for the other person, because you want to keep that person interested, especially if you've been with them for 5 years, 10 years, 14 years. And the goal is to find out from that person, okay, what makes you sexy? What do you think is sexy? Because everything, when I go on Instagram, when women half naked, I'm like, that's nothing, yo. Come on.
But that's totally, that I don't think that's sexy. That's just showing your body. I mean, that
And they wonder why they get all the dogs. Of course.
For some people, that is sexy. You know, you have
no doubt.
You know, every person is different. And I think that's where you have to decide, you know, when you have a partner, you know, like you got to look at certain things. So what I do is I do a lot of online shopping. So I'll ask my husband, you know, what do you think about that? You know, what do you, yeah, I like that. You know, I like that. You know, I'll get him now. Do I do it all the time? No, because I also want to be my own person and pick my own clothes out. But he does the same thing. He'll ask me, you know, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? So it is being concerned with the other person, but it's also still your individuality of who you are. When you step out that door, you know you look good. You know whether or not you looking good or not. Okay. Now I'm just gonna say some women, they need to be true to their own selves. Don't be I said a long time ago, you need to have a good friend that's gonna be honest with you, because some things that people put on it, you know, like for instance, everybody can't wear onesies. I hate. Everybody can't wear onesies. Okay. Everybody don't have a onesie body. All right. So, you know, you put it on, and just because it's in style doesn't mean that you can wear it. Everybody can't wear crop shirts. Everybody can't wear Speedos. Everybody can't wear bikinis. You know, if you ain't got that kind of body, then find the things you can put on, you know, because
you're right, no doubt, I agree.
Everybody can't go. Like, you got some people, they're out there, they don't have no bra on, and they're married, they with their husband, and they got no bra on. It's like, no, you go get that bra. It's okay. Put it on. You know, same thing with a guy. You know, it's nothing like a guy who got pants too tight. You know, your pants are too tight.
Tight jeans.
Like they all the way in your crouch. You know, and then some people wear it up here. You know, so you gotta kind of talk about it. And the nice way to talk about it is to shop online. Look at clothes with each other. It's okay. Yeah. You know, it's all right. My husband asked me, you know, babe, what do you think about that? And he'll send it to me. He send me a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm like, oh, you would look nice in that. You look nice in that. Because you know what? He really does care about what I think. But if you just, I ain't gonna lie to you and be like, ooh, baby, you look good. And you don't. That's not cool. You know, so you gotta be able to tell, especially going back to women, you know, some of this stuff is just not sexy. It's just not. It's just not. And you can't get around it. You trying to get his attention, and he's looking at you, and he's like, I mean, all the way from your hair to your eyelashes to everything. You know, your eyelashes. So he go to kiss you, and you gonna pop him in the head. That's not cool. That's not sexy.
So let's talk about this. Let's move on to the let's talk about the sexless marriage. What's going on with that? And again, you know,
Well, I have a question about that.
Okay.
What do a person do? Right? They're in a marriage, a committed marriage. Say a person got sick and no longer can perform. Now, what? And everything else in their marriage is good. Like, well, at least what it can be, like, you know, because the person got to take care of the person because they're sick and or whatever, and you know, they can't perform. So, but they still have a good friendship, they have a good companionship. Should that other person who's sickly allow that person to go out and get like a side piece for the fulfillment of?
Look at this. I'm saying this. That's a discussion they need to have. What they're gonna do, how they're gonna do it. You know, every marriage is different. You know, what goes on in that house is their house. I think again, you know, when it comes to somebody being sick, that's a whole different story. Because you know, there's a whole much more leniency in a sense. But when I'm talking here about sexless marriage, I'm assuming both people are healthy.
Yeah.
And maybe one person is deciding not to have
sex with
be intimate with the person. To me, that's an issue. I say that because I'm gonna speak to all the men. I think just about every man gets married so he can have sex with a woman.
But there are some men that don't have. You got to realize some men, their sex drive may not be where that woman's sex drive is.
Understandable, and again, this is why you got to know this before you get married.
But a lot of people. But the thing about it is, no man. I don't think any man's gonna tell you like, yo, you know my sex drive low, yo. You know my.
See, this why you need to go to premarital
no man's counseling. Gonna say that.
You need to go person. How much do you like to have sex? And if a person says, "Oh,"
but you also got to understand that sex changes as you change. So now you talking about this. Let's go with your typical. We'll start out with 30s because we're not going to deal with the 20-year-olds. We'll deal with the 30-year-olds. Grown,
all day.
So when you talk about being in your 30s, and then this is what men have to look at with women. There's only 7 good days that a woman has when she is within her cycle period. Okay, because she has the post, the pre, the time. So it's a lot of stuff that goes on with women in their 30s. Okay, and then all of that has to be taken into consideration. So now you're going into your 40s, and now women go through the pre-menopause. So now there's another whole situation, because premenopause is you don't know how your body is going to change. You don't know how your estrogen level is going to be. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how frequently, you know, like you have some women that develop fibroids. There's all kinds of stuff that happens to women, especially with women, because our sex drive is governed by how we feel. Okay. And if I'm not feeling good in my body, then, and I think that's where we don't discuss it. Men be really thinking, you know, okay, come on, but it may not be like we go through so many different phases. So now we in our 50s. Okay, now they say women in their 50s, that's where they high peak, because now we done went through the menopause. It's on every day. It's like I'm ready. I look, 7 days a week, 7 times a day. Then I don't know if y'all watched what was it? Best Man final chapter when he said I'm gonna have to get that blue pill because it's like when you no longer, because think about it, your average woman has been with her special friend, her little cycle, for a long time. So now she don't have that anymore. So she now has the liberty to just be like, whoo, yes, I can go strong until I'm at least 80. That's how she thinks. She really does, because she got all the makeup time, because when she was younger, she had all of these interferences. Now here you have the man. The man is like in his 20s and his 30s and his 40s is happy. But then as they get, I'm not saying all men, but most men, some men, they decline. So now they got to talk about it, because it also could be where there's a you know, it could be saying that, you know, it's just a difference, you know. So you have to talk about it. You can't you got to talk about the different phases, because it's not just straight across the board. It could be some things that's going on that causes people to have sexless marriages.
No, but I understand that. But I'm saying, in those situations, in those circumstances, I can understand that. I'm cool. I'm talking about when people are not having no medical issues. You know, I'm like this. If we're not having sex, you need to go to the doctor and bring me on my doctor's note.
But you gotta understand, a lot goes on in marriages. I think, because I have literally known people who have gone spells. I knew somebody who went years. When I mean years, I'm talking about 10 plus years. 10 plus years.
That's divorce.
Years.
That's divorce.
Years. Okay.
That's divorce.
Years.
If we go years about having sex, you might as well consider that with divorce.
You gotta realize, like, there's some couples who literally move out of each other's room, like they don't have their separate room. Like
there's some people that said, "Oh yeah, we sleep in different rooms, and it helped their relationship better." I don't know how.
I don't know how, but okay, if that's what they say. But I've known people who, and I think the cause of a lot of that was the infidelity, and then it was infidelity had happened in their marriage. They couldn't trust the person no more, but they had children. Their children were kind of young. So they were like, you know what? I can't, leave them. So they just went and stopped having sex with one another because other person couldn't get over that other person cheating.
But see, I don't, again, I know it happens, but I don't think that's the way it should be. A relationship is something that should always be worked on. If you ask one person to be committed to only you, I think you should be trying to move heaven and earth to try to please that person. I work the way I work because I want my wife not to experience more of life, because I'm asking her to only be with me.
Yeah, but you like your wife.
Well,
there's
again,
some people that don't.
I say this. I believe in. I love the Lord. I believe in marriages. But if you don't like the person, let them go. Life is too short to be.
Well, life is too short, but people have tons of reason why they stay, whether it's for the children.
I understand. But I'm saying though, if you're in a relationship and you don't like the person and you're not willing to give your all to that person, that person is actually doing time.
They are.
They're doing time. You might as well go to jail. You might as well go to jail.
And you know what?
That's why you're not getting that.
I believe that if you are going to be in a relationship, you should give 100%. You should give. You should constantly be trying to work the relationship. So I think that when you talk about a sexless marriage, for whatever reason is sexless, you got to come to a conclusion. Now, if both people want it to be sexless, then that's one thing. Then okay, y'all, I don't know why, but okay, y'all don't need sex in your marriage. But if one person is saying, you know, hey, I am not in agreement to this. You know, I need to have sex. This is then, you know, I feel like the other person needs to definitely be on board and try their best to be able to please that other person. Now, there may be again some things that has occurred where things have gotten you know, stale, whatever you want to call it. Well, that can be fixed. But
right.
Infidelity, if you're not having sex with the person, and I say this because women do it, men do it, but women, if you can't forgive and you can't and you can't let it go, and that's the punishment, you need to leave. You need to leave, let him go and find somebody else to have sex with. Because
you should. No, I said you should leave so that person go, and you should leave so you can find somebody that you can trust, you can love, and you can feel alive with.
Exactly. I don't feel like you should now people say, you know, well, what's the time frame? Well, if you're working your marriage and that person is there, if there's infidelity, then, you know, once you go through that counseling, because it is a period of time where you are going to feel, you know, betrayed. But at the same time, you got folks that's out there, I ain't slept with him for 5-10 years. That's crazy. Yeah. That is crazy. Yes, it's crazy. You know, so I just think that, you know, that part I totally agree. You know, just go your separate way, go free yourself and free him, and, you know, keep it moving. But if one person is desiring sex, and I think it was even if your spouse has gotten overweight, then that's a conversation. If you're not attracted to that person anymore, because sometimes people may not want to have sex because they're not attracted to the person. So you have to ask questions. Are you not attracted to me anymore? You know, now if she only gained, you know, I don't know what the weight is. But men got to be honest. Women got to be honest, because men gain weight too. You know,
I think again, if you're not attractive to the person more, you need to let the person know, no, I love you, but I'm not attracted to you, and work on it. Let me tell
how
you.
do you say that? Because that sounds mean. I'm not attracted to you no more. Just like, babe, let's go walking. Let's go jogging.
It sounds mean, but if you don't say it, you're gonna treat them that way.
Yeah.
And they're gonna feel it anyway. So either or you can go out and cheat on them anyway. So you either gonna say it and you can work on it, or you can just go and just do what you're gonna do, because it's not gonna get resolved. Just because you don't say anything about it, it won't get. If you don't say anything about it, it won't get fixed. I
believe it's a way to say it. I remember
sometimes you gotta say it.
I'm telling you. I remember, Josh. I'm telling you, as a woman, I remember I was in a marriage, my second marriage, and I remember him saying something to me, like something, and I remember the way it made me feel. Like, I don't even remember exactly what he said, but I remember how it made me feel.
Mm-hmm.
And the way he made me feel like I didn't even want to try to be better for him. I didn't want to look sexy, because the way he said it was like nasty. And
that's different. I agree.
And he didn't say it like nasty. Like, it wasn't nothing crazy, but the way I felt about it made me feel like, oh, like, how dare you?
But see, even that, we must always, when somebody says something to us, we must always take a self examination. Access, is he right? I there's a lot of things people say to me that I say, okay, they may be right.
I don't care if you're right. You better say it the right way.
No, but that's the problem. I'm saying that sometimes when a person says something to you, when it hurts, it may be because it's actually right. And either you can get upset or you can work on it.
But there's a way that you can say it. Everything.
I agree. But sometimes, hey, the truth just hurts.
I think if you're not attracted, if somebody gained, some odd pounds, I know that they know. I mean, if you gain 50 extra pounds, it's not like these people don't know that they done gained a crazy amount of weight. Like, for instance, I remember, and me and Brandy had this conversation almost every time we see each other. Right after I had Angelica, right? Now, remind you, Angelica's like 2 days old. And I went from being like maybe 115, 120 to like 180, 190 some pounds, right? And I remember Brandy coming to the house to see. Now, they come to see the baby. Now, I just got on regular clothes. And I remember Brandy coming up to me saying, "Oh my gosh, Joy, you look disgusting."
Oh,
and yes, a girl who just gave birth to a whole human being. And I just was just like, yo, who says this to a person who just gave birth to somebody like that? I look disgusting. Now, and I know I had gained a crazy amount of weight. I'm the one who went, the next week to get, weighed in and checkups and stuff. But it's all about the weight. Now, she said that benefited me because, all I did that summer was work out. So when I went back to school, my body was snatched back. She claims she takes all the credit for that. But I also don't have to sleep with her. But if it was somebody, just imagine a woman having a baby for a man. And a man telling that woman, like, "Oh my gosh, you look disgusting." And then you still expect her, even when she gets the snatch back, to be wanting you. That it doesn't work that way.
I agree. Now, I agree. I totally agree that no one should say something like that. But again, if I think you say, "Hey, you know what? I like you to be this way. I like this. I like this." But again, but sometimes there's no way to tell the truth. No soft way to tell the truth. Just tell the truth. You know what? I refer my wife to tell me the truth and deal with it.
But sometimes the truth may not be fair, because again, if you are, you have some guys, they have their extracurricular activities. And when you are used to, now I'm not talking about infidelity, but more so you into pleasing yourself, then and you got your own little personal toys or whatever, then what happens is
the person jealous.
You begin to find your spouse unattractive or not pleasing, because now you done brought some other things in the picture. And women too, if you used to pleasing yourself, and then now your man is trying to come on to you and you can't get aroused because you done brought in other things, that too can cause a marriage to be sexless, because now you doing stuff that you will, and here's the thing. What you're doing is you're causing that other person to feel like something's wrong with them. You're causing them to feel like, well, what's wrong? Why aren't you getting excited? Why aren't you getting? So that goes back to what I said with your sexuality. It has to start with you, because if not, at any given time, if the other person got some other stuff going on, then now you're feeling like, well, I'm not sexy. Am I not sexy? I know I'm not fat. I know I'm not this. So now you starting to feel some type of way because the person you with is not desiring you. That's not a good feeling. So that's why.
But see, I think it goes back down to collaborating. I think marriage is all about a collaboration and everything. Whether it be life, whether it be your sex life, collaboration. The goal is to learn how we can please each other. Right. And again, some people may need some more lessons. When I went to school, I was real poor at math until I put more extra work into it. I got better at it. So likewise, again, this is. I'm learning that relationships is about working together.
Okay, I get that, but so we do all agree that if somebody's sick, there's leniency that goes, and so you still can have a fulfilled relationship.
Yeah.
And so why is it that you wouldn't be able to do that if both of y'all are healthy. And say like you guys can still be friends. Say you guys are, you guys have to reinvent. Because I'm guessing sometimes in marriages, or I don't know, I've never been married that long, so I don't know how this works. But I'm guessing in marriage, you have to reinvent your relationship ever so often, I'm assuming, to keep it fresh, right?
You do. You have to explore. You have to explore. You have to talk about it. What turned him on, turned her on, a year ago or 2 years ago or 6 months ago may not be the thing. So you have to be you got to be able to communicate. And I like what Brandy said, communicate and explore without the other person getting offended. Just because I say, hey, you think that this is where, like Josh is saying, I don't know how to say it where it doesn't become offensive, but you can't take it offensive because anything in your relationship is important. So if I'm communicating that, this is a problem, then I'm not saying it to offend. I'm saying it can be better. And that's where married people got to get to. They got to stop being, every time somebody say something, well, now you telling me I'm not.
You better say that.
I'm saying that we need to work at it so that it can become better, so that we can be better. And I think that it just happens. Your average couple. Again, when they first get together, they slobbing all on each other.
Yeah, can't get enough of each other.
I can't get enough of you. You can't get enough of me. Then we get into the relationship.
Well, I want to say this. I like what Lady V said. We have to stop taking criticism or constructive criticism as an offense. Like, especially when if you're married to the person, this person is married to you. You should always think that this person has got your back 100%, because if you fail, they fail. Now, sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes the person you're with really don't like you, but and they should. And you should always think on the side of your mind, oh, I want this person to really like me or not, or try to give me a comment there to make me leave them, whatever. But for the most part, I think if you're in a relationship, especially marriage, you should assume that if this person is saying this, it's not to offend you or hurt you, but I want it to get better so we can be better.
But I also believe that if you love I'm a true believer that if you truly, truly love someone, you already know. If you've been with this person a long time, you know them. And some people, you know what they're sensitive about, what they may not be that, what their shortcomings may be and things of that sort. So I'm always, because I've been that person on that other end in a marriage before. And trust me, even with him, I was nice until I wasn't. And then when I wasn't, I was like, get guns off. You want to get to let's know the truth? Let me tell you the truth about some stuff. But I realized that only came because at that point I'm trying to hurt you. And because I wanted to hurt you because I didn't care how you felt at that point. Way before then, I wanted to protect you. I wanted to make sure that whatever I said was not going to tear you down, was not going to make you feel like I was not going to be attracted or I couldn't be attracted. And I just didn't want those things ringing on in the back of your head, because our words are powerful. And what you say, you may think, oh yeah, well, it's just criticism and it's just going to help them. But depending on that person, that may be something where they automatically knew, but now that the way you said it to them, it doesn't feel like love. It's not taken in love. Like the way you talk to your children, I always look at people who curse at their children like, you stupid. And I'm like, yo, why are you talking to your kid like that? Because no matter how old that child get, you'll still have conversations and that child will still be thinking, yeah, my mother said I'm stupid. My mother called me a this and that. My mom said this and that. No matter how successful they are, no matter what happens, those things ring back in people's heads. At
the same time, though, you need to mature, and grow up and be able to have a conversation, a dialogue. A good example: if you're on a team, and you play with somebody, and they're not doing their best for the team, it's just ironic. You get upset. I get upset too. and it's okay to tell your teammate, you know what? Hey, you need to step your game up. You need to step your game up. For me to want to stay playing with you, you need to step your game up. Again, because if you don't say it, you're still going to act it out.
I'm not saying don't say it. I'm saying the way you say it. Like, no matter how frustrated teachers get, if a teacher was to tell a child, you stupid, guaranteed that teacher is going to get reprimanded for telling the child that they're stupid. Even if they think that.
And at the same time, though, I think again, if you're doing things that are wrong, for example, if my son does something that I don't like, I may get upset.
Yeah.
But you may just don't. I'm like this. If I get upset, it's because you're doing something that I probably done told you not to do over and over again.
But you're not gonna tell him, like, just talk crazy to him just because you're upset.
I don't talk crazy to nobody. But at the same time, though, I'm gonna raise my voice.
Somebody like, yo, you suck at this. You need to get better. That's talking crazy to them.
I told people. My brother and I, we bowl together, and I told him, hey, Doug, come on, you can't be bowling this, man.
See,
but I think that there's a difference when you talk about going back to the topic of sex. That's a very sensitive subject. So a woman tells her husband, dang, babe, you just suck in bed, No,
I said I don't say it like that though, but say you know what? I like it. I think again, if you think that, you should somehow go to a counselor and work through it.
Well, what if a woman was to tell you, guarantee, if a woman was to tell any man, oh, your tool is just too small, I can't do nothing with that. And you married to her.
Hey,
guess what? That man, no matter how much you want to have sex with that man, no matter how much you just like, babe, I was just playing. That's gonna always be in his mind. She think I'm terrible. She think I'm. So that's what I'm saying. Like, certain things affect people in different ways. And with women, we're very emotional people. So you have to handle women a little bit more delicately than you would someone else of a male.
If you want your wife, like, the one thing that I think that men do, they think that squeezing the rolls is going to. That's the indication. That is not a good indication. Okay.
What's that?
If you love your spouse and you want your spouse to bounce back or to, be smaller or however, there are certain things that you can say, like, hey, babe, I was thinking, what do you think about us joining the gym? Because I want to get in shape.
Right.
And what she say no? What they say no? I don't want to go to the gym.
So now, if they say they don't want to go to the gym, then well, I think it would be good, because then it will motivate me and motivate you. Because we're not getting into young. You put it on health first.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Okay. Then what they say? No, I don't care about that. I'm good.
Then you know what? Then that's what you do. Then you start having a lot of sex. And I mean, do sex in different positions to where their heart rate got to go up, where they got to do a good workout, run them through the mill. You just be bouncing on it. Like, come on now. And then, like, my legs are tight. Like, nah, girl, keep riding. I like it. Don't stop. You got to encourage them. And believe it or not, because sex burns off a lot of calories. If it's done right.
But how about this? How about this? You do that and they still suck because they out of shape.
What, that they suck at sex?
Yes.
Well, yeah, okay. So the thing is, when
you say perfect,
then that's a whole different conversation, because then that is, I'm not doing what it is that you want me to do. So that means that we need to have a different conversation. It don't have anything to do with my physical body. Because you got some women that got some slamming bodies, they just suck at sex. Because nobody is talking about, it goes back to you having the communication of what you want. If you want more foreplay, then you need to be honest and say, I want more foreplay. If you want more whatever, now it got to be realistic. If he only 4 inches, You not get 8. Okay, you got to work on what you got. Okay, you know there's some parameters there. You know, yeah, that's what you got. But you got to be able to talk and find out, like if there is some, if like Joy said, if because again, women go through in their bodies the estrogen. It's not sickness. It's just that sometimes we may not get
we off sometimes.
Yeah. Well, even men, sometimes men are tired. They don't want to have it. Again, sometimes men don't want to have it.
There's something wrong with you, but what it does mean is we need to have a conversation. You know, I noticed that you don't get aroused, you don't get wet. You know what? Hey, there you go. You know, let's talk about it. Let's talk about, you know, let's have some of this or some of that. It's okay to talk about it because you're partners. You are partners, and you're supposed to be able to talk to your spouse and find out, okay, what should we do? How should we?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just switching some things up. Girl, put them heels on. You know.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, it's all about finding out, okay, what turns you on, for both parties. You gotta say what turns you on, and again, that's why a point I want to make also. I think though, if you are having a really good relationship, the sex will be probably even better. I think. What do you guys think about that?
I often believe that I believe sex is reflective. I believe whatever your sex life is pretty much reflective of how your relationship is. So if it's awkward, if it's, you know, both people not really into it, you just like, look, let me just get a nut and be done with you. More likely you really want to deal with them in your personal life, like outside of the bedroom, you really want to deal with them. Because I think that type of stuff is a reflective thing. But I also understand that, you know, in different parts of life, you know, there's challenges. There's a lot of times if you have a young family that, you know, a person might work at night and the husband might work during the day. So they're just passing ships. So they don't really have a lot of time to connect.
You
so
don't need a lot of time. You don't need a lot of time.
They may not have any time. If you have
10 minutes,
young
20
kids,
minutes, get 20 minutes, you know.
But what if that woman don't get aroused in 20 minutes, or she just like, yo, I gotta get the
But
kids ready for this.
like again.
That's what happens, Josh.
I understand what happens. But I'm saying though, you have a responsibility to make sure you're good for that person. If you don't look at this, I could turn myself on.
Oh, we all
I think you say the same thing.
But you gotta understand, I could turn myself on.
If you don't know how, you need to learn.
I think everybody can turn themselves on, but I can turn myself on. But just because I'm turned on, don't mean I want to have sex with you.
Well, that's
like,
a problem.
You gotta realize there's sometimes I get turned on, and I'm just like,
that's a relationship problem.
What I want to do. I know exactly what I need. And I don't need no assistance. I don't want to have to go ahead.
But see, that's a relationship problem. The difference between rape and consensual sex is a relationship. If your relationship is not good, you can turn your own stuff on, but you're not gonna want to have sex with that person. So again, I say this: if both people are able to have sex, and there's nothing medically wrong, and you should not go by your own opinion. You should go to a doctor before somebody say, yes, I got something wrong. Go to a doctor and bring that doctor note home and say, this is what the doctor said. Other than that, you can't claim that. Assuming that.
But the thing is, what if you're not okay? What if you're not pleasing the other person? Like Joy, said, you know what you like. You know. I mean, so here's the thing.
Do it like that.
Here's the thing. Men get aroused and their arousal is different from our arousal.
Exactly. So, a lot different.
So if you're not doing, a lot of times women want foreplay. So if there's no foreplay involved, and now you just gonna go, you said 20 minutes, you're gonna go with 20 minutes and you gonna just stick it in and
and get yours.
You're gonna get yours. But she's not getting hers because most women don't get aroused like that. They just don't.
Yeah, I know. Now you talk, I need more.
You got your 20 minutes, but she left and she's going like this because you now rolled over and went to sleep. And she's like, what the heck?
You know what I'm saying? Now she gotta go into that nightstand and get that little rabbit. She gotta get her rolls out.
So now and that's the thing that's what makes the marriage sexless, is because it also, I think that the biggest thing is both parties cannot be selfish. You have to think, if your marriage is sexless, that means that y'all have become selfish. Because
in every aspect, and you become selfish in more aspects than just the bedroom. It's even outside the bedroom too.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like you cannot be selfish when it comes to your partner. So if you think that, okay, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna do me. Now you done did you. And now the other person's like, okay, but there's no arousal because you done did you. Then you're selfish. You're selfish because you done did what you want to do, whether you man or woman. It's not fair to your partner because now your partner want to come in and you want to get it in, and you're not even aroused because you done took care of all your needs. You done did it, and now he's looking at you like, well, why you not moist?
So what did DK say? Go back to what DK said, Josh.
He said,
playing with those toys because they stunt your arousal. I don't know how they do, but you have to understand, it's a different type of, with the toys, which is what women love. It's because the toys can get us, because 80% of sex is in your mind. So the toys can get us when it get on that click, and it's like, bam, we right there. It don't take a whole lot of time. Right. But what men have to understand is, y'all don't like us having the toys because it makes you have to work harder. Because you got to realize it's a different type of sensation. So now you gotta start floating them juices. Y'all got to get more creative. I think you guys think, oh, well, I'm hard. Yo, we ready. No, we ain't ready. You ready. I'm gonna need you to slow down.
I'm ready.
Y'all gotta understand this. Y'all gotta understand the process of a woman.
Men have to allow women to explore that, because a lot of men think that because women want to bring some toys into the situation, we're saying that we're not. They're not.
You said they get divorced, Josh?
I mean, we go to the sex. We love the sex store. The sex store is gonna be what's gonna make your marriage work. It ain't no offense. You still gonna get yours. I'm gonna get mine. You gonna get yours, and that's gonna be it. But if you sitting there going, oh no, I don't want you to bring in the, because that's like having another man. No, it's not. It is not. No. It is not. No. It is just an enhancement, and that's what people don't understand. So you got to talk about it. You got to talk about those things so that you really, really understand how the other person thinks, what the other person, wants to do, what makes them click, like Joy said, you could be ready. I may not be ready, if you ain't do no foreplay, no nothing, but you ready.
Exactly. You like, yo, we got it. And no, we don't.
And you mad because she ain't wet. You like, well, what?
Exactly. Now you sit up here spitting and everything. It's like, bro, let's do some more stuff, and then I ain't got to do all this. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That part. you gotta say, it's like, okay,
let's do
we gotta be real. It's like, okay, I need you to, do some stuff,
Exactly.
and that's the truth. And men and women, they don't want to talk about that. It's like,
exactly.
No.
Okay.
But no.
Because you gotta understand, like I always say, it takes me a while. Like if I want to do a production, like I gotta go jump in it's bath, get a nice soak on. I gotta put on my little cute lingerie. I gotta do my hair. I gotta put on my makeup. I gotta put in my shoes, and then I gotta think of like because I like role play type stuff. So I gotta think of like scenarios and who I'm gonna be, and to make. So I'm gonna need you to give me at least a good half an hour to an hour.
Right.
And y'all be like, oh well, I'm done. Nah, bro. After all I done put into this, now we gonna have to do this again. You gonna have to figure something out. And that's what men have to understand.
You gonna have to do some oil.
Yeah. Because it's like
I totally agree. I think that when it comes to a relationship, and then that you should put work into it outside the bedroom,
absolutely.
and then learn a person. This is your person. This one person you got to spend time to learn and see what makes them tick. And when you find out what makes them tick, and likewise the other person should spend time trying to find out what makes you tick, and do those things. I think it makes the intimacy even more, because intimacy, again, we all know that intimacy is more than just sex. It's
absolutely
everything you do outside the bedroom, and looking to please a person. Giving the foreplay, and like I say again, if you don't know what you're doing, gotta go learn. Again,
sometimes you need to come out of the bedroom. The bedroom is not. The bedroom could be boring. Sometimes you need to take it elsewhere and explore different places, different things. You can go out and that's where the foreplay starts. You dirty talk or whatever. Whatever. But if you just everything is the same every single time, it is going to become routinish. It's going to be boring. It's going to become mechanical. It's going to be okay. I already know what's going to happen. There's no anticipation. There's no nothing put into it. And after a while, it's like, well, why do it? So you want to make sure that you because this is, I'm gonna keep it real. If there's some infidelity, okay, you are not. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. If you step outside your marriage, it is going to be firecrackers. It's going to be all that, because that's why people step out their marriage. People don't step out their marriage to have common, ordinary,
which is very, very true.
You're gonna lick stick. You're gonna do it all. You're gonna do, because now this is what you say. Oh, it's something new. No, you really made the effort for somebody else, because you thought, oh, okay, it's gonna be, this is how it's gonna be. So what you could be doing with your spouse, you done went outside and did it with somebody else. The same thing with female. We will get what was it? Why did I get married? And the number 2, part 2.
Yeah.
And when she was buying the lingerie and she was doing the hair thing and everything, and he said, okay, what gives? Mm-hmm. And the very thing that stuck with me was when she said, well, how did you know? He said, I know how many times your heart beats in a second. Mm-hmm. So why do you think that your spouse don't know when something changes? So what you do is the same effort that you was gonna put in, why you don't go and when your lingerie is outdated. You don't put the same thing on. You already know you've been coming to bed and you've been wearing the do-rag a little bit more, because that's what you do. Now you got the little lace frontal things and put the band on,
little bonnets on it and stuff.
And the bonnet, and the bonnets. Oh my God, I think they should burn the bonnets. That's what we do. And then, so now he come in and he's like,
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's not spontaneous anymore.
Yeah.
It's no longer interesting.
And I agree.
With him, if he come in the room, it used to be you go again. You meet that chick, you gonna do some things. You got some tricks under your belt. You
learn something.
You gonna whip it out. That 4 inches may grow into 6 inches or whatever because you had
now you had an extra 2 inches
for that other chick. But for your spouse, you like.
Well, no. I think it goes back to what Lady V was talking about in the beginning about yourself, and that you got to keep on loving yourself. Again, I'm working on my. I'm not a sneaker person, but I'm working on my sneaker game. I'm working on my clothes game. Not getting a little more money. I'm getting more name brand stuff just for me. But again, I want to be some. My wife saying, "Oh wow, look different." You got Nike on now. Instead of Adidas. So again, and I've learned that as you change, your confidence change. As your confidence change, you change, and the person that you with gets another person. Look at this: the same price tag that you put on yourself, other people put on you. No one is going to value as no one could put the value that you see about you. Like for example, every 2 weeks I get a haircut. I get everything cut off. Get everything. No one asked me to do that. I get it because I like me. I look good. I look in the mirror. Say, oh, he's fly. I get dressed up. Put my suits on. Blah blah blah. See, and again, they get the benefit. My wife gets the benefit of seeing somebody looking good. So it's all about really working on yourself, so you can be a better person for the person with. And the longer you with somebody, the more you gotta do that because
And not only that, I think you also need to let people be freaky. Because I know a lot of time people are very apprehensive to let them know, yo, I like this, I like that.
Yeah.
Because they may feel like, oh, you're gonna think of me differently if I told you, I want you to put a finger in my butt and I don't know, something crazy.
Hey, go for it.
I'm just saying kinky stuff. Unless, so a lot of times people hold back what they really, want to try in their desires because of the look of well, I don't want her to look at me like I'm crazy or nothing. But I believe let that person be open, let their kinky side be open to you. Be open to trying new things. Be open to exploring. Watch some stuff together and be like, yo, let's try this.
Well, that's the bigger thing is a lot of times people don't, we got all of these different rules when it comes to the do's and the don'ts. And, if you watch porn and you do this and you do that, this is wrong and this is wrong. And that's why a lot of relationships go down the tube because people, like you said, people are not free enough to say, what they really, really want.
Exactly. What they really like. Not what they really like.
If I'm in the car and I don't want to wait until we get home, am I free enough to say, hey, let's get it right here, right?
Yeah.
I want, you see the scenes, but again, if you was with somebody else,
if you have an affair, you be outside in the cars.
Exactly. You be doing
in the car, you be in the bathroom, you be all over the place. But then when you get married, it's like, okay, well, we just gonna wait till we
exactly.
You done knock stuff off the stove and everything.
Exactly. Now you down to having quiet sex,
right.
You better scream.
Right. And that's the part that has to, when you talk about marriage, you gotta constantly, and I tell my husband all the time, I love being your wife, but I like being your girlfriend. I like
that's good. That's good.
I like you being, when we go out, this my boyfriend. This is I'm your girlfriend. Because the thing is, when you boyfriend and girlfriend, you was a little bit different. You was a little spicy. When you use husband and wife is kind of like okay. But when you think words like, oh, that's my boyfriend, we're gonna get it in tonight, you know, we gonna make some stuff happen.
Yeah.
You think of it different. You put you did some things different when you were boyfriend and girlfriend versus when you become married. And so I think that too, the words, you know, this is my lover, this is my, you know, girl, look at you, man, look at you. And you gotta do that because that's what keeps the marriage. That's what things fight with. But when you go into that husband and wife mode, it's like, you know, oh well, I'm just a wife. I'm gonna put this bond on my head. And I know he's gonna get it anyway. You know, he's gonna do 10 minutes and then no, you know, that's because now you done kicked into the wife mode. But when you still that girlfriend, he gonna come home and you gonna still have that sexy on because that's what you did when you was when you was trying to get his attention. That's what you did. So you still got to be able to do those things. You know, like you said, you got to do your hair. Make sure. I mean, my husband works nights, so I make it a point to, you know, before he comes home, I get up. I literally he gets off at 3:00 in the morning. So I get up at like 2 and I curl my hair. I put my makeup on.
Oh wow!
I put something.
That's
sexy.
what I'm talking about, big.
That's why he comes. That's at least. Now, if he don't come home to that, that's because I am really, really not feeling well. But other than that, I make that effort because he's worth that. I don't want him to see me, you know, when he come in and you know, I got my do-rag on and, you know, I got my onesie on and I'm looking crazy. No, I want him to see me beautiful because, you know, 3:00 in the morning is still a good time. You know, so I'm gonna have a good time. So I make sure I look great, you know, and you know, I run his bath water, you know, and the whole 9 yards. And that's the effort that you have to make. You even though 3:00 may not be your appointed hour, it has to be your appointed hour because that's his appointed hour. Yeah. And when he comes in, you got to meet him where he's at. You got to meet her where she's at. And that's just where it is. So it's an effort on both parts. And it's constantly exploring and conversating and trying different things. You know, think outside the box.
Yeah. Keep it interesting. Hey guys, it's like an hour and a half. It's been
I know,
good.
right?
Great topic.
So we're gonna wrap it up. So I'm have everybody answer the question that the poll about the show. First, you, Lady V. Can a sexless marriage be fulfilling?
No.
All right. Joy, can a sexless marriage be fulfilling?
I believe, depending on I don't think it would be fulfilling for a long period of time. But if you guys go like a month or two, and it's like, yo, we just haven't been able to connect and get it once every week or whatever, however many times people have sex. I think you can still have a loving, fulfilling marriage as long as you are still doing like the small kind things for each other during that time. Like, but if you like completely ignoring each other and you guys are basically like roommates, then no. But if you guys are still doing stuff during that time, I think for a small period of time, don't let this be a 10-year thing. If it's a 10-year, y'all not a marriage, y'all an arrangement. And that's all that is. But I do understand that life happens. Life happens to a lot of people. And when life happens, you have to make the best of it, you know, stay focused. Don't run out and, you know, try to get some new booty just because, you know, your wife is down for a little bit or y'all not able to click for a few months, you know?
All right. Well, my answer to that is no. You know, I think sex is part of a relationship. It's part of the relationship, and it's needed. Now of course I'm ordained minister. I need to read a scripture here because, you know, just add some type of Christian values.
Christian values after we talked about fingers and butts and stuff.
I'm gonna text message tomorrow morning. But the Bible says, the scripture in the Bible says, 1 Corinthians says, do not deprive each other, except perhaps by mutual consent, for a time, so you may devote yourself to prayer. Then come together again, so that Satan will not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. So, I think, not having sex for a long period of time is not good,
Right.
and can open doors for a lot of
Absolutely.
things. Because when a person, I'm gonna give one guy said he used sex is how he vents. He's a pastor. He's married. He don't drink. He don't do that stuff. But sex is how he relieves stress. And believe it or not, that's how
So
some
he
people
had
relieve
rough
stress.
sex.
It's through sex. And again, and of course, if they don't have sex, they're gonna relieve their stress other ways, whether it be alcohol, cheating, other things, But so I say no. And so again, make sure you work in your relationship. And if you work in your relationship, I believe that your sex life will be okay. Well, that's it for tonight. I want to thank everybody for all the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Lady V, we thank you for
Yes.
being a guest.
Thank you. It was a good show.
She seen our post and said, "No, I gotta be on the show." I said, "Come on." And she's always welcome. She has a show. What's the name of your podcast?
It's BTS Keeping It 100 with Lady V. So it was Breaking the Silence, but I kind of renamed it, and it's
what's all about? Yeah, what's it all about
we
on the
have
show?
different topics, from everything from relationship. One of the things that I really want to, I think next week we want to talk about is redefining our youth. I think that our youth is way off track. So want to come up with ways on how to redefine what they've been told that they are or aren't. Let's bring them back. Let's kind of see if we can get this. They say it takes a community. So let's see if we can get the community.
Awesome.
And that premieres on Thursdays at 7.
Thursdays at 7
7 o'clock.
Yeah, Eastern Standard Time.
You guys look for her name on Facebook, and you'll find her podcast. Well, everyone, once again, thank you for joining us. Hope you had a blast.
We love having fun with you guys.
We love having a blast. We have a couple shows coming up in the next couple of weeks. I mean, it's a lot of good shows, a lot of good content. Hope you join us. Also, do us a favor, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share the link. Let other people know about the show. I think it's a great show. I think we have a lot of good times and a lot of good content. When we talk about it. And if you have any topics that you want us to talk about, hit me up. We're always down for a good conversation. But other than that, I will see you next time. Once again, I'm Rev J, and this is my co-host Joy.
And we'll see you guys later. And remember, never let anybody steal your joy. We're out. Good night, guys.
Good night.